All right, so we're back here on podcast. I'm joined by my man JB. What's going on, man?
Not much. It's a cold Tuesday night here in South Korea. I'm freezing my ass off. How's everything going with you stateside?
Great, man. Great Tuesday morning here in the good old RVA. Nice chilly December morning. So I mean, everything's good, man. Beloved Springers are going back to the state championship. They'll be playing this Saturday for their third straight championship. It's good,
The
man.
three peats, the three peat, man. We never saw the success with Holland Springs football until we were seniors because they didn't make the playoffs for a very long time until we were seniors, and it's been a nice little run the last 15, 16 years. Our Springers have seen when it comes to football, having competitive teams making the playoffs, two straight championships, going for number three.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, we definitely got to get a huge shout out to our classmate. I got Russ Charity, who's the offensive line coach at Highland Springs. Man, he's doing his thing, man. He called to the show on Friday, and how Russ is. Russ being Russ, but that's all I got, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I know
Great
he's a
show.
coach. Is Aaron a coach on the team too? Aaron Bryan?
He was, because I think he was one of the coaches for the JV. Was a part of pretty much not this team, but maybe like last year, currently, like when they were like, he was around during that time. But yeah,
Yeah.
but Russ being Russ, man.
Yeah. But good things are happening in Richmond, Virginia. Good things happen all the time in Richmond, Virginia. Don't let the news fool you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Week's Yours That podcast, of course, So of course, Derrick Rose is officially back, and of course he was at one point was contemplating actually, he was taking a leave of absence and contemplating his basketball future. So pretty much, what are your thoughts just about this whole Derrick Rose situation?
Well, man, I think the Derrick Rose situation is a really sad fall from grace. I mean, this guy was the MVP in 2011. I mean, and unfortunately, injuries have kind of derailed his career. And I know a lot of people were saying that he needs to retire, or Cleveland, they shouldn't want him back. But I guess I'm looking at it from his perspective. I think people try to force players into playing hurt, which I think is not good. I mean, like people keep on saying, well, it's for fun. Well, you're a professional basketball player. It's not really fun anymore. It's your job. And, I just find it kind of hypocritical. When he was hurt a few years ago, people were saying, oh, he needs to play, he needs to play, he needs to play. The same people who were saying that he needs to play, these are people that I know who have called in from work sick because they have a cold. And they're telling this man that he needs to play, and he has, knee problems, and his knees have not been healthy. It's been one thing after other. And, if he does decide to walk away at the end of this year, I really can't fault him because, Derrick Rose is 28 years old, but you have to, say that, with all the injuries and stuff, he's not really 28 years old. He kind of looks like a 35, 36-year-old basketball player at times.
And I agree with it, especially back in the Chicago, back from the ACL injury, and I'm like, this guy's got to take his time. And a lot of you know people saying, well, structurally, but it's a mental one thing I like about having learning and discovering about his trials and tribulations. Realize that injuries also more so it takes an emotional toll on you, and sometimes your bones or whatever may heal within a certain. But a guy like a Derrick Rose, who his game at that time, and you tell your ACL a while mentally to adjust. So to me, you said, Yeah, think about it. This guy, he's not even 30. He's injured. So of course you're gonna look at it from to be natural typical 28-year-old basketball player. He's gonna probably you're gonna add maybe like you said more years to that total. Me, like I said, I wouldn't fault him. And if he does leave this year, hell, it's a hell of a career coming out of you're pretty much coming from Chicago, pretty much in a single family home. Regardless, me in my personal opinion, and I wish the best for him. But if he decides to leave, like you said, and like you said, it's easy for the people to say, well, yeah, it's easy to come back. But these type of people that, like you said, they'll take a day off in the middle of the week, or have a 3-day weekend.
Oh yeah,
what they call like a middle.
Yeah, they'll take the day off. Oh, I had a cold. I had a hangnail. I need to take off from work. So you're telling a guy that has had multiple knee surgeries that he needs to play, but you can't tough it out because you got a cold. I got a sore throat. I got to take off from work. So I mean, I just think the whole Derrick Rose thing is just really sad because you have to look at it from this standpoint too. Derrick Rose is probably the most injury-riddled superstar in the era of memes. So Derrick Rose is actually gonna go down as kind of a joke because of all these memes and stuff like that. Like for instance, Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady are kind of revered. Those are guys like, man, they could have been great if they wouldn't have been injured. Whereas, nowadays we make fun of, injuries like the internet, like me and you say all the time. The internet has no chill. And Derrick Rose has been a punching bag, as a basketball player because he keeps on getting hurt. And, it's sad. It really is. It's very, very, very sad how, he's kind of been made fun of. He's kind of been undervalued. This guy was 22 years old. He was the MVP of the league. He was the MVP when he was 22 years old.
It's funny that you bring up that point too, because I wonder how we're gonna look at Derrick Rose in like the next 10 to 15 years, and we look at guys of this era. When we look at the guys like a James Harden, Russell Westbrooks of the world, these type of guys, are we gonna put him in that category because like a lot of people say, like with Grant Hill, we've always said like if Grant Hill, if he wasn't hurt, he'd be probably one of the best players in that particular era. I wonder now, in the next few years, are we gonna put him in that debate? Especially when people make light of injuries compared to when we were coming up, where it was like we actually had heart. We kind of had a somewhat of a soft spot for when a guy got injured, and we kind of had a little bit more empathy. But now, say this guy like when he got hurt, people were just like, oh, just like you said, clowning.
Yeah. I unfortunately don't think that Rose is going to be in that tier with Russell Westbrook or James Harden because of his health. And what's really tragic is that this guy was, I wouldn't say he was the best point guard. I mean, I thought, during the time he won MVP, I thought Chris Paul was, the best point guard. And then you also had Deron Williams, whose career has also, kind of been cut short because of, injuries as well. Deron Williams, he's not even in the league anymore. But I don't think he's going to be looked at, that good because of memes. I think the internet has kind of changed our perception of players and stuff like that. Me and you, we've had this conversation, not to get off topic, but, you look at a guy like a LeBron James. LeBron James is, 3-5 in the NBA Finals. People make fun of him. Imagine what would have happened with Jerry West or, Wilt Chamberlain, who had losing records in the finals. Like, if they had been around during the internet age, they would have been getting killed. I mean, LeBron James has won 3 championships. He's 3-5, and people make fun of him. They call him a loser. So I think the internet has kind of changed our perception of how we view players. And there are a lot of false narratives, on the internet about certain kinds of players in different sports.
agree. And you know, so funny. And he bought out Jerry West. Now, you know, of course, when Jerry West won the MVP on a losing team,
Yeah.
imagine, you know, 1969, we had the internet and we had Instagram. I guarantee you, Jerry West wouldn't have been the logo.
No, he went. Bill Russell would probably be the logo. Like if we would have had the internet in 1969, Bill Russell would. Well, let me just throw this out there too. Whatever. Bill Russell was quite militant, so maybe Bill Russell might not have been the logo because Bill Russell probably would have been talking about racism in Boston. Bill Russell probably would probably have been something kind of similar to Muhammad Ali of basketball had there been the internet. Because Bill Russell was quite outspoken about his experiences in Boston, so I take that back about Bill Russell. But yeah, if the internet had existed in 1969, boy, there have been a lot of players that would have been getting eaten alive on social media.
the Jerry West Slander would have been crazy, and then just like all of that, man, that would have been hilarious. Yeah, it probably would have been, you know.
Almost definitely.
Huh? It would have just been him just dribbling, had the ball in his hand, and that would have been the logo. But like, yeah, you're saying, and I was like, now just the internet has warped people, and it's almost like even when like with us, we're very objective, and and a gray line between how we about certain things because facts. But then it's almost like LeBron think we're haters, and just everything like because if you're on once, it's almost like around now. That's how the internet has been, which is the most weirdest thing. You can acknowledge somebody, but then in the same token, if you don't acknowledge them in every particular area, if you don't check all your boxes, especially and of course when we deal with that single hand. Especially when it comes to LeBron James. There's certain attributes of LeBron James that I like and I don't like, but it doesn't make us a hater. It doesn't make you a hater. And it's like everything. So if we checking 10 boxes and I'm checking 7 out of 10, in the LeBron James, Nick Wright world,
I can't hear you.
You hear me? Yeah,
now I can hear you. Yeah, you went out for a second.
So my biggest thing is when this like you said, it's the perception. Like we're very objective, and when you spit out facts. But if a guy doesn't check 7 out of the 10 box that you like, you're considered a hater.
Yeah,
it's amazing how like you said, how the internet is just like a playground for like some of the most, ignorant narratives.
Oh, most definitely. But yeah, I think it's coming down to a bit of like how we've been conditioned, how we've been cultured. Like if you don't say, like for instance, one thing that people keep on saying about me, and I get this every week, and one of the groups saying, "Well, you hate Russell Westbrook. You hate Russell Westbrook." What have I ever said about Russell Westbrook that's ever a lie for us? Like I've told people from day one, Russell Westbrook is an electrifying player. He's arguably, probably, you could argue that he's the best athlete in the NBA. He's a top 5 talent, but he's a bad decision maker and he's a poor shooter. And he also doesn't play good defense. But when you say that, people say, well, you're hating on him. I'm not hating on him. I'm just stating facts. When you state facts, and I think it's just really funny, like the Russell Westbrook people and the Carmelo Anthony people, they will say stuff about, well, Steph Curry this, Steph Curry that. But they only mention bad things about Steph Curry. They don't mention any of the good things about Steph Curry. See, at least I'm acknowledging the good points about Russell Westbrook. He has a great motor. He gives 120% every game. I can never question Russell Westbrook's effort. I can question his decision making, but I will never question his effort. But I think it's hilarious how people will say bad, disparaging things about players because they don't like them. Won't acknowledge anything good, but if you acknowledge something good about a player, but you say something bad about them, you're a hater. No, I think the hater is the person who won't acknowledge anything good about the player. I think that's the actual hater.
Exactly. And that's what I think. And the funny thing, like, especially you, a good point, because I remember when you talked about him, about Russell Westbrook, everybody can see. You know, I'm telling you, if you all you have to do is sit down and watch a game. It don't matter what game you watch. So Westbrook does, and you're like, what's that? I mean, you're gonna have like a what the hell moment 4 or 5 times in a game or more.
Yeah.
It's erratic, like you said, and it's not a knock on him that you see. That's just like you saying, hey, there's a red car that's coming down the street. The red car coming. If you seeing him lane coming 95 feet, contact like out of nowhere, like what are you doing? Like and he has those type of plays. Like you say, that's the most craziest thing. And see that his play is erratic, and it's evident. You don't even have to know the intricacies of the game to understand that. Like it's beyond me, and it's like, yeah, Russ is my guy. I like Russ. I like Russell Westbrook. Yeah, that's my guy. But like you said, hey, and then when you call a spade, it's like, oh, you hating. And I'm like, no.
It's kind of like when you like sometimes like I feel like people have gotten way too emotional. You could say 10 really good things about a person, but you say one bad thing about the person. Well, I don't like this character flaw that they have. Oh, you why do you hate me? No, I said 10 good things about you, and I said one thing that maybe you need to improve on. It doesn't mean that I hate you. I mean, if you said 10 good things about me and said one lousy thing about me, I would probably be inclined to agree with you. Well, I mean, 10 out of 11 is 90%.
Right.
So yeah, but
And that's
yeah,
what it boils down to, because I'm and plus at this point, 100% on a player. Period. I'm not gonna be 100% ugly or indifferent. It's gonna be a balance between maybe it's 80% of I like 80% of the things I like, maybe 70%, 60%, hell, maybe even be 50-50. But it doesn't make me, like you said, like it doesn't make me essentially a hater. It just freaks me out, like how people look at that, and then like you're saying, all you gotta do is go on your phone, Google Westbrook's his shooting percentage. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up right now while we're on air. This is something simple that people can do instead of you saying that people hate. Look it up, and you can see that this man has a terrible shooting percentage.
and he did last year as well, and he won the MVP because people,
Easy.
yeah, and people are just really. I think the thing about Russell Westbrook, people are enamored with just the overall raw talent that he has, and because of that, they ignore his flaws. It's kind of like that really beautiful girl that you see, and you date her, and you're like, oh my gosh, she's so amazing, but she has a shitty personality.
Yep. I'm just like, it interests me people, you know, I just trip off of it like big time, like how, like you're saying, there's a lot of stuff that people, like
Well,
when
you're breaking
it's
up. I
like,
can't hear you.
to me, I can say everything about him. Look, yeah, I know how I feel about LeBron.
You there? I can't hear you anymore.
Yeah. Oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Your camera went out for like a little bit actually. So
Oh,
yeah, it went out like it's
yeah,
like it like
yeah.
it like you froze up, but now you're back. Yeah.
Yeah, but it trips me out. So yeah, he's Russell Westbrook.
He's a very polarizing figure in the NBA these days. He and I keep on telling people this. People are saying, "Well, you're crazy." No, I'm being honest. The only thing that Russell Westbrook's gonna have to do, Chris, and I'm being honest, let him have a Allen Iverson-esque playoff run, and he's gonna go down as a legend. And it's gonna be really disturbing how he goes down as a legend too. He's a
and of course, like
yeah.
Oh.
So, what did you think about? Let's get into the next topic. Fizdale. Fizdale got canned last week when we didn't have the show. What were your thoughts on Fizdale getting canned?
I was really shocked. I mean, to be honest with you, because it's so funny when we previewed during the season, and we had a lot of guys who were on the hot seat. To be honest with you, man, I figured out of middle tier as far as job security. A great playoff run last year, and I figured he was going to be there for for at least for the foreseeable future, for at least for this current NBA season. I mean, for him to get fired was a total shock. Like I literally thought, to be honest with you, it was a fake news article until because I follow somebody from a news person from Memphis, and they posted about David Fizdale being fired. I literally thought it was. I thought it was I didn't even want to click the link like a virus or something because it really shocked me to a point I'm reading fake news. I'm going to ESPN and checked it out. I was like, wow, that's crazy. So what are your thoughts about it?
It was shocking. I'll say that I thought it was a little shocking. I also thought that the timing was really bad. I thought he got a raw deal. And look, man, the way that management has set up that team, they can't sustain any injuries. And Connolly was missing a lot of time, and Connolly's just very valuable to that team. People argue this with me all the time, Chris. What Mike Connolly does for Memphis, he's more valuable for Memphis than Damian Lillard is. And from this standpoint, Connolly is a really, really good defender. He also is that general. He's the general point guard. So I've told people this before too. Damian Lillard could miss probably about 2 weeks, and Portland wouldn't fall flat on their face. Portland would be okay. Mike Conley missing 2-3 weeks for Memphis, it's not going to work out, man. It's not. And you just don't fire a coach when one of the best players is missing time. I felt the same way a few years ago with Mike Malone getting fired in Sacramento when Boogie was out for that time. You just don't do that. I also think that possibly a reason why he got fired too was because of this came out later. Him and Marc Gasol weren't seeing eye to eye.
Yeah, I thought that was rather weird because I'm like, to me, get rid of him because of this dispute because he benched him in the of course the game before the game that he after he got fired. I mean, before he got fired, and I'm just like very, very weird. But you know what? Surprised, and I really kind of not backtracking, but like getting rid of Yerger, the coach that's now in Sacramento. Hollins, I thought Hollins got a raw deal too, and in Memphis as well. I know, and of course we understand that franchise players pretty much dictate the tone of the team. But I mean, you putting on a 33-year-old Asian superstar and Marcus Gasol, so I mean, and it's just very bizarre, man.
It was, the timing of it was very bizarre, and he wasn't, and this is another thing too I'm noticing about teams too. Teams that are successful have continuity. It's hard to have continuity when you're changing coaches every couple of years. And I think Memphis is at the point now where I think they just need a complete rebuild. They're not good enough. They're not good enough to make any serious noise in the playoffs. And they're not like really rock bottom bad where they can get a good draft pick. So I think they need to probably part ways with both Connolly and Gasol, try to get some assets back and try to like start over again. But Memphis, I think they had some unrealistic expectations. They got off to that really good start. They're not a really good basketball team, though. I think that this team that we're looking at, even if Connolly and Gasol had stayed healthy, they're probably barely above 500 team, and that's not really good enough in today's NBA to do anything, especially out west. I mean, if you make the playoffs, that means you're probably going against Houston or you're going against Golden State in the first round, and that's what, you win 2 games? Winning 2 games in the first round of the playoffs, I mean, that's not really that big of an accomplishment.
I mean, like, yeah, it was crazy. Now, what was funny? All right, now, so of course, you do the show on Friday nights. Now, we had a debate about LeBron James tweeting out about his support in David Fizdale. So of course, we would, it's me and Sean. We talked, and then we had our guy Marcus J. And he pretty much said, comment on David Fizdale was, in his words, a bitch move because he shouldn't be commenting on other issues that are going on in the league as far as with that. But I think it was more for him because he's a Knicks fan, so of course he has a little animosity towards the Knicks. But I just thought that was very interesting. And just your thoughts about just LeBron James just being vocal about David Fizdale's
So I think that a little bit comes back because Fizdale came from Miami and he has a relationship with Fizdale, but like, I don't know. I don't like when other players comment because you don't know the story. You're in a different city. It's a different organization. It's a different vibe. I understand that, he has a relationship. Him and Wade had a relationship with Fizdale because he was an assistant coach in Miami for, many years. So I understand that, but you don't know what's going on. I also, let's just be honest, like, LeBron was responsible for getting David Blatt fired. David Blatt won 70% of his games and got fired as a coach. So you didn't really have any sympathy when David Blatt got fired, but you have sympathy for Fizdale, who had a losing record when he got fired. So I just think that that's kind of interesting. He also tried to get Eric Spoelstra fired when he was in Miami as well. So LeBron, this is why people don't like LeBron, and of course Deshaun isn't going to see it this way. This is just another example of LeBron being passive aggressive, and this is why people have a problem with him. It has nothing to do with his basketball. It's his passive aggressive personality. And LeBron should just not say anything. He got Mike Brown fired. Mike Brown had a great record as Cleveland's coach, and he was responsible for Mike Brown getting fired. And then he didn't even sign back with Cleveland. So I don't know. Like, I don't think LeBron should comment on it. He's going to do whatever he wants to do, but I don't think he should comment on it. And, this is going to come out with Deshaun saying, oh, you hate LeBron, but I don't. He just keeps on doing stuff like this. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, great basketball player. Great basketball player. LeBron's a great basketball player, but he is the GOAT when it comes to passive aggressiveness.
Yeah, and like you said, that's another example of you can check 8 things out the box, but it's 2 things that you don't like. And like I said, aggressive Hall of Fame, he would be a first ballot. People say, what's wrong? Yeah.
Yeah.
He would be first ballot.
Unanimous.
And my thing is, and I was talking about this on the show, and I was like, look, in your life, like, LeBron's almost 33 years old. Aggressive. That's not cute at our age. Like, you just, bro. When he's forced to be passive aggressive, I'm like, no, you're not forced to do anything. You're a grown man. You do what you want to do. To do something that you're not supposed to, and I'm like, yo, if he's passive aggressive, that's him. But dude, that's a little kind of for the younger folk.
Well, and here's the thing, Deshaun, I love you, but you have a really bad man crush on LeBron. You don't see anything bad that he does. It's even with the Kyrie Irving thing. He kept on referring to Kyrie Irving as a kid. Like, who? Kyrie Irving is a fucking 25-year-old grown-ass man, and you keep on referring to him as a kid. That's the kind of shit that LeBron James does. You can tell why Kyrie Irving wanted to leave. Come on, Chris. What would you do to me if I kept on calling you a kid and I kept on being passive-aggressive with you? You'd probably want to kick my ass. And a lot of players that play for LeBron want to kick his ass because he does kind of stuff like this all the time. And Deshaun will be like, well, he's not a victim of the Kyrie Irving thing. Kyrie Irving wanted to leave because he got tired of dealing with LeBron's passive-aggressive shenanigans. He did. LeBron James is a great player. Like, look, if I was a middling bench player, I would probably want to go to Cleveland too and play with him because, he gets his teammates involved. But it's like kind of stuff that he does or whatever. It's like he throws his teammates under the bus. He never wants to accept responsibility for anything that he wants to do. He's like a big, grown baby sometimes, and it's a shame that this man is 33 years old. He's highly acclaimed basketball player. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's top 10 player of all time or whatever. The kind of stuff that he does is just, he shouldn't do it. You know it, I know it, but then you have like LeBron sexuals who think that nothing that he does is wrong. So,
and my biggest thing with LeBron thing, and I'm like you saying, and like you said, let's do it like this. So now Dwayne Wade, his kid, you know how many people will go clean off for calling LeBron James kid?
Oh yeah, exactly. Like that's very different for you to refer to your coworker as a kid, and he said it and. When they were doing, the training camp interview, he referred to Kyrie Irving in the interview like 10 or 11 times as the kid or whatever. Like, honestly, Kyrie Irving, oh my God, I'm not going to say it, but like, look, man, like it is what it is. We know this. Everybody else knows it too or whatever. Like, you even saw what he did after he lost against the Mavericks. Well, people are going to hate on me regardless, but I have all this money and, they're broke. Who says that? Oh, the question was about you choking in the finals when your first year in Miami, and he said that. So I don't know. I'm just we know it. We're woke.
And my biggest one was the tweet that was towards Kevin Love. Either you fit in, or either you fit in or you fit out, or something like that.
Yeah.
Everybody knew what that meant.
Yeah, no, and that's another example too. You know what? I'll be honest. I don't agree with a lot of what Christopher Broussard says. I think he thrives off the drama, though. I think that he does stuff, and he's just like, oh my God, you're gonna be talking about me on ESPN today. So I think he's a bit of a drama. He's a bit of a drama king or queen, whatever you want to call it. He loves drama. I think he thrives off the drama, and I think he plays well when he has a lot of drama around. I think he is passive aggressive. I think that he he invents a lot of this stuff.
Created, like you said, to him to have a chip on the shoulder. Like the whole thing with especially with the Dennis Smith Jr. comments, of course, with the Knicks should have got him, and pretty much it was a shot at Phil Jackson. That's something that we really got, almost in the heated argument about. Because I'm like, you worried about that guy that's in like Montana, like just living his life. He ain't even paying attention to it. It's almost like, to me, it's like you drinking a poison and thinking the person that you hate gonna die from drinking that poison. You're the one that's drinking the poison. They're not even worried about you or focused on you.
Oh yeah, and even the stuff that he did earlier this year, that's another example. Like, come on, man. LeBron James, great player, best player in the league. Why are you trying to bully that rookie from New York or whatever? And then Cancer got in his face or whatever. And I don't blame Cancer. He does a lot of this stuff or whatever, but then he turns around and he plays the victim. Oh, why don't people like me? People don't like you because you do stuff like that, man. And, even me and my dad were talking about this earlier. My dad was talking about, well, it's a shame he doesn't get any foul calls. The reason why he doesn't get any foul calls a lot of times is because he's a crybaby. Referees get tired of, like, just dealing with the stuff. He's passive-aggressive with the officials also. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that a man that is 33 years, about to be 33 years old at the end of the month, just does some of the stuff that he does. He should be beyond this.
Time. And like, to me, I just think it trips me out. And this is like, and like the whole Phil Jackson. Remember when when the pocket thing came out, he was just so up and on. But I'm like, look, but like you said, I think it's more so he wants to be loved by everybody. Like, his relationship with Jordan, he kind of look at it like the criticism that Jordan had initially. When he first came out, and of course, this, like you're saying, he wants drama, but he wants to be loved in the same token. It's almost like he really don't know what he wants. Interesting thing about him, it's just like you said, he want to play the victim, but he want to be the bad guy. And you gotta understand, a player like him, on your cape. At the end of the day. So to me, it's like, yeah, you want that love, but you're not going to get that love because people are trying to, you're at the top and everybody wants to get to where you're at.
Yeah, but Chris, I agree with you 100%, but it's kind of just, it's ridiculous to me. He wants to be loved, but then he does some of the stuff that he does, like I'm sure your mom told you this. Actions speak louder than words. You want to be loved, but then you're doing things that are not going to make you loved or whatever. People aren't going to love you when you are referring to your teammate who made the game-winning 3 in Game 7 as the kid. People aren't going to like you. People aren't going to like you when you're going out of your way to bully 21-year-old kids who are rookies. Like, what was he doing? Like, what was the point of him doing that? Like, I'm done with this. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just trip off of it, and it's like, one of those things where it's like, hey, so Cody's on the hot seat. What do you think? What's next for Fizdale?
Well, I know he still has some time left on his contract. I would like to see Fizdale maybe chill out for the rest of the year, maybe next year, go work for NBA TV, be an analyst and stuff like that. I'm sure he's not done with coaching. I'm not sure when he'll get his next head coaching job, but I would say probably maybe next year he might pop up somewhere as an assistant or something like that. So, but I would like to see him just chill out, relax, have some time with his family, his wife, and just, go work for NBA TV. Or ESPN or something.
Yeah, and a part of this is maybe I'm going on just an emotional rant or whatever. Go. And even though I know it's not going to happen because we're gonna live and die by Fred Hoiberg. It's like I know this is like a fairy like Christmas wish at this point. I know it's not gonna happen, but hey, just to entertain the thought of David Fizdale as our coach, I would kind of entertain that idea.
Well, but I don't think he's going to do much good, though. I think the Bulls just have a really lousy run. And this is the thing I keep on, like, I don't know, man. Like, we kind of argued about this over the summer. I think you guys have this fairy tale, like, imagination land where you guys still think that Thibs should be your coach. Thibs is not a good coach. He's not, man. Like, the guy plays his roster like it's NBA 2K17 and there's fatigue off. He ruined the Bulls. He's the reason why Joakim Noah looks like a 50-year-old skeleton. He's the reason why Luol Deng is just looks like, a Sudanian refugee that's, 50 years old. Like, Thibodeau cannot manage a bench. He ruined the roster. And, like, your front office is horrible, and I think that you guys have just never really given Hoiberg a fair shake. And I feel bad for Hoiberg. Hoiberg is not running the offense that Hoiberg wants to run. He's not running in Chicago because he doesn't have the personnel. And I don't think Fizdale. I don't think that Fizdale would do any good. I think that Chicago's a lousy team. Like, hands down so far this year, Chicago and Atlanta are the two worst teams in the league. Both of those teams are horrible.
Chicago's the worst by landslide. What I would rather watch paint dry than to watch my Bulls. I look at it. I remember the first week I had a little optimism, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna suffer. All I'm gonna do at this point, I'm just gonna relax. I'm just gonna watch Marvin Bagley III. Unfortunately, that the ping pongs will go our way, and we can have that young man in the fold and start the building process, because it'll be a long winter for me.
Basically what happened in Chicago and Atlanta, it was pretty much like a hurricane hit those cities directly and destroyed it, and out of the ashes came a basketball team, and the basketball team is just horrible. And the fans are still supporting them because they're like fans, but they're not very good. And Tay Holloway, our former Springer classmate, I want to give a shout out to her. Keep your head up, Tay. Things will get better eventually, I think.
And like I said, at this point, what you want for Christmas? I just want a 25% chance to get number one pick, so we get Marvin Bagley.
I think that your whole front office, I think that should be your wish. Your front office has ruined the team, man. Like, Paxson, man. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, man. Like, the whole Vinny Del Negro thing just still blows me, man. How can you fight the damn coach and not lose your job? Your general manager cannot be fighting the coach. And, Vinny Del Negro can't talk about it because it was a settlement. I don't think he's allowed to talk about it. But Paxson fought Vinny Del Negro. You can't have that. You can't have people in the front office fighting coaches. That's like just bizarre to me.
No, I just think it was crazy, and I was like, man, I was just like, and like you say, and that's a coach I really like, and of course, that's prior to Tibbs, but when I first heard that story, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. On the road, we getting better, and I'm like, man, team, and all this is happening, and I'm like, because that was supposed to be the year we were supposed to get LeBron. We was gonna be sad, and then of course, then we had to go to our plan D and get Carlos Boozer. Yeah, that was supposed to be a year where a lot of things were supposed to go our way. So interesting year to say the least.
Yeah. So speaking of finishing up with coaches, what coach do you think is most vulnerable to get fired next, and why?
I think it's gonna be Doc Rivers. Just what, like you saying, even though, and I think it's true. It's almost like I think it should be like a cardinal rule in the NBA or in the professionals. If your main guys are out, that shouldn't make you it should make your job security should be on the line due to the lack of your star players. Look at that Clipper situation, and it's a mess because it's so funny because everybody was like, "Oh yeah, we don't need Chris Paul. We don't need Chris Paul. Look at it. We're what, like 8-2. Oh, we're balling." Then the Clippers are old. I mean, it's like, and to me, gone back, which is the most strangest thing. They pretty much have almost gone back to little brother status again.
Oh, pretty much they are poor Billy Crystal, poor Penny Marshall.
Yeah, and of course, and my thing is, it just have to be a clean haul of it, because to me, my biggest stigma with them is they gotta move from the Staples Center. They gotta get their own arena, because at the end of the day, you gotta, this is, of course, it's a Lakers town anyway. Get out of that Staples Center mentality. Get out of that. They just need a whole complete over. It starts with Doc at this point because of course they can't build an arena in this short period of time for next season or what have you. But like, I think it's gonna be Doc. Doc is gonna be next. Glenn Big Baby Davis.
Glenn Big Baby Davis is gonna have a field day with me. Man, Doc, man, I don't feel bad. He started with fat jokes and stuff like that. So I'm kind of glad he got fired. That's gonna be Big Baby Davis. But actually, the coach I'm gonna throw out here too, and I think he's gonna get fired. Now Doc Rivers might get fired before he does. I think Billy Donovan's days are numbered in Oklahoma City. I really do. Like the stuff that I'm hearing out of Oklahoma City about how Carmelo Anthony is basically defying him and not listening to him. Then you even look last night. They beat San Antonio. San Antonio played their B team and they barely beat San Antonio. They beat San Antonio 90-87, and there was no LaMarcus Aldridge and no Kawhi Leonard. It's not getting better, man. It's I never thought I was going to say this. Oklahoma City will be lucky to get the 5th seed in the West. They'll be lucky if they get the 5th seed in the West.
Amazing how the tide has turned with that, because at first we were kind of looking at it, hey, this team could do some stuff. And like you're saying, all this stuff is, we already knew this team was kind of weird constructively anyway. And like you're saying, and you brought up a good point. Now, looking at the spacing on the court is just atrocious, and it's not going to improve. And it's just very interesting. He's, if we can put it like who can get fired before Christmas, I think it could be, because I mean we got like pretty much two weeks.
Yeah.
And have and just continue on this downward spiral.
Yeah, and I would feel really bad that he gets fired. And people keep on saying, well, he's not coaching good. He's not coaching good. If you look at how, and this is the thing I keep on trying to tell people keep on saying, well, Russell has never had a good coach. Russell Westbrook is doing the same thing he did when Scott Brooks was his coach. And Billy Donovan is not running the offense that he wants to. Billy Donovan ran a ball motion offense when he was in Florida, a lot of ball movement. He's not doing that in Oklahoma City. He's not doing that because the players are not buying into what he wants to do. Russell Westbrook plays basketball one way. It's what got him to the NBA. It's what's got him, triple-double MVP, but he's not going to change. And I'm sorry, you could bring in Coach K to be the coach of Oklahoma City. Russell Westbrook would not change the way he plays. He would. And I think Billy Donovan is going to, end up being, the fall guy. I mean, Russell Westbrook is the franchise player. Russell Westbrook is going to win this fight.
You know what? Maybe Coach K should go to OKC. Maybe that tarnishes his legacy.
No, Coach K was. You would like to see that happen, but I'm pumped for college basketball season. I'm looking forward to the Blue Devils kicking UNC up and down in Durham and then in Chapel Hill. I'm looking forward to a sweep this year.
Hey, it's like I said, like I was telling Russ the other day. Hey, ranking is cute, but hey, who cuts down the Nets on the first Monday of April?
Oh yeah, it most definitely. One of my favorite moments in NCAA history was what happened in 2016. That buzzer beater was beautiful, man. Duke, we've lost some heartbreakers, but we never lost the buzzer. Knock on wood.
You want to know biggest disappointment in life in the last in this last decade? Missing that shot in the national championship game. If he would have went that, oh my God, if Gordon Hayward would have hit that shot, I kid you not, that would have went down as ultimate greatest shot of all time.
Oh, it would have, but instead he missed it, but Chris Jenkins made it. So Chris Jenkins shot, that was beautiful right there. I go on YouTube sometimes and I still look at that and I get this smile on my face and I'm like, yeah. And I imagine putting myself in your situation. I was like, I wonder how Chris felt when this ball went through the net. What were your?
I was numb.
Oh yeah. Kenny Smith was too.
Because the most, I tell you, it's might be one of the most weirdest yet unique moments that I've ever had as a fan, because at that point, think about it, a few seconds ago, Marcus Page hit that miraculous shot. So you, in your mind, you're thinking, when you have that type of luck, that type of thing happens, that we're gonna win. When you hit a shot like that, that's what made it so disheartening. You hit a shot like Marcus Page, and you're like, okay, we're good. We're going to overtime. This is the momentum is shifted. It happened when Arcadejo, which is, that's the way. That's that's kind of like God's way of punishment in a sense, because Ryan Arcadejo played for the Bulls. That's funny because one time one day we was like, man, who is this Ryan Arcadejo? You trolling me, right? The one who might have made the best NCAA history at this point.
Yeah.
Of course, the sports guys, they had to do that to me. But like you said, going overtime, and then for him to hit this shot, I was motionless for 5-10 minutes. It shocked me. It was one of the most weirdest things. I had, sometimes you're mad or whatever. I just sat there and silence. It just shocked me. I couldn't say nothing.
Yeah, that was a tough. Wow. That was a tough one. I remember I actually missed that game because I was actually taking a class at the time. I was taking a Korean class, and I remember when the Korean class was over with, I had all these notifications on Facebook, and all these Jordan memes were popping up or whatever. And I saw the buzzer beater, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's a heartbreaking way." Because like you said, Marcus Page made that amazing shot, and you think that you go to overtime, you're probably going to win that game because you have the momentum on your side, but it wasn't meant to be. But you guys came back the next year, bounced back, won it. So.
Yeah, at least yeah. And we're trying to go back this year. We looking pretty solid. Of course, we have Michigan State, but like I was telling the contingent of Carolina fans in the city, we'll see them in April. We'll see them in April possibly. in May. Oh, it might be in April. Who knows? Learning lesson, you know.
Or you'll get knocked out in the second round of the tournament.
I doubt it. You know, we're gonna see. We 13th in the country now, so of course, you know, we gonna be all right. You know, we're hoping for a number one, you know, a top seed or so. So we gonna see. But I see what Duke is doing. You know, we'll see you guys in February. You know, you know, we'll see y'all.
We'll see you in February a couple of times, Shane. Okay.
And it's gonna be on, and of course, you know, I gotta, and like I said, another way, you know, sports guards in a sense kind of messing me up because I gotta do some advanced scouting for Marvin Bagley. So of course, hey, it's, you know, I gotta sacrifice one for the other. I want my Bulls to be successful going forward.
But all right, man, I think that's a wrap for this week. So
yeah,
you have any other thoughts?
Yeah. We all set, man. You know, another great episode. Of course, you know, we took a little somewhat of a bad week. So, you know, we back here. So definitely check us out every week here. A podcast, man. This is JB, man. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. See ya.
Yeah.